Welcome, everyone, to the Tethys Shipyards. I am Takeshi Yamato, the Yard Master, joining our host, the Housecoat Gamer.
Yo.
Today, well, we're not doing playable starships today. In fact, we are doing an overview. We are doing one new NPC stat block, but we are also using this video as an opportunity to cover the existing stats for NPC starships for the greatest threat the galaxy will face, or even the multiverse, honestly. Screw the Iconians. Screw the Iconians. Screw the Reapers. Screw just about everybody else. The Borg are the greatest threat anyone would ever face.
And with good reason. After all, their technology is highly advanced, adaptable, and oh so virulent.
Yes. We will start. Before we get to the new ship, the Assimilator, which we are covering because it got introduced into STO as a Borg ship, we're going to start with the various ships that have already been covered in STA. We start with the two that were in the core book, the Sphere and the Cube.
Both of
First,
which are in this shot. How convenient.
Yeah. First, some common Borg special rules from the core book. Advanced transporters. The transporters used by the Borg are significantly more advanced than those of the Alpha and Beta Quadrant cultures, functioning over much longer ranges and even effective through deflector shields. Vessels with this ability can use their transporters to beam targets to or from a location within long range rather than close range. Further, they may transport targets to and from locations protected by shields, though the difficulty increases by 1 in this case. In regenerative systems, is next. Borg technology is highly adaptive and can regenerate from damage very swiftly. When a Borg vessel succeeds in a task to repair damage, the ship also repairs a single breach, plus 1 additional breach per momentum spent, repeatable. And lastly, threat protocols. Borg vessels respond to hostile action with carefully analyzed amounts of force. A Borg vessel will take as many turns as the combined number of turns their opponents take. Total up the number of player characters, plus the scale of NPC vessels arrayed against the Borg, and this will provide the number of turns the Borg vessel will take. If there are multiple Borg vessels, this is the number of turns that the Borg vessels will share between them. So, yeah. Borg ships can take quite a lot of turns. Anyway, we start with the Sphere. Spherical, long-range tactical and reconnaissance vessels. Borg spheres are amongst the smaller Borg vessels, yet they still dwarf the starships of other cultures. Crewed with thousands of Borg drones and capable of traveling via Borg transwarp conduits, they are a deadly threat, only eclipsed by the terror presented by a Borg cube. Traits: Borg vessel. Systems values: comms 10, computers 12, engines 11, sensors 10, structure 12, weapons 10. Departments: command 3, con 3, security 3, engineering 3, science 3, medicine 3. And I will just say this right now, that is the department spread of every single Borg ship.
Makes matters easier for us.
Yeah, because, well, I guess that also makes sense because, well, that's how they work. They don't excel at any one thing. They just do everything very well. Anyway, back to the stats for the Sphere. Scale 7, resistance 7, power 11, shields 15. Crew is listed as exceptional. So 11 attribute, discipline 4 for any roles that they would make as crew type things. Attacks: cutting beam, energy, range close. 10 a 10 dice, a 10 challenge dice, vicious 1. Energy draining weapon. Energy, range close, 10 challenge dice, dampening. Strength 5 tractor beam. Special rules, advanced transporters, regenerative systems, threat protocols. That is the sphere. Now for the cube. These massive vessels, over a kilometer long on each side, the 3x3x3, have been responsible for the destruction and assimilation of whole worlds. A single Borg cube was responsible for the devastation at Wolf 359. And these vessels seem to be unstoppable, barring some exceptional circumstances or creative stratagem.
And usually those don't work twice.
Yeah. Borg vessel, again. Comms 10, computers 12, engines 11, sensors 10, structure 15, weapons 12. Same departments as all Borg ships. Three and everything. Scale 13. This thing is massive. Resistance 13. Power 11. Shields 18. Exceptional crew, again. Same weapons, cutting beam, energy draining weapon, strength 5 tractor beam, but the weapon values go up to 16 challenge dice as opposed to the 10 of the sphere. In addition to the standard Borg special rules, it also has adaptive subspace field. Whenever a Borg cube suffers one or more breaches, we'll roll 1 challenge die for each breach the cube is currently suffering from. If any effects are rolled, the cube has adapted to that weapon type, phasers, disruptors, photon torpedoes, etc., and can no longer suffer any damage from that type of weapon. The vessel may retune their weapons, represented by creating an advantage, to allow it to damage the cube with that weapon again, but each new retuning can be adapted to as well. And it also has colossal. Borg cubes are huge, dwarfing even the largest Federation starships, and inflicting meaningful damage against them is extraordinarily difficult. No system on a Borg cube can be destroyed without first locating a vulnerability, normally represented by creating an advantage, so this advantage should be especially costly, difficult, or dangerous to create. Without doing this, the ship will continue to regenerate and pose a threat, though it can be temporarily disabled if it turns all of its attention to repairs. And that's it for the core rule book. Now, the Delta Quadrant source book, which covers the home of the Borg, adds quite a few new Borg designs, as well as adding rules for assimilating for assimilating starships of other polities.
Because it's the Borg.
Yes, because it's the Borg. So, first up in the Borg in the Delta Quadrant is the Borg octahedron, also known as the Diamond. The octahedron, also referred to as the Borg Diamond, is a purpose-constructed vessel unlike the majority in the Borg fleet. The octahedron is used as a command and control vessel by the Borg Queen during campaigns against powerful enemies, or when coordination of activities across the galaxy requires movement of the Queen to a position to better reduce subspace latency.
The Borg for making some goddamn sense.
Yeah. What doesn't make sense is, compared to what we see here, the Borg octahedron is a truly colossal ship, approximately 10 kilometers along its largest axis. Uniquely among Borg vessels, the craft has much of its internal space open to the outside. This allows for the vessel's powerful subspace generators to produce direct taps into the highest bands of the subspace spectrum. This gives the Borg Queen the ability to communicate with drones and vessels tens of thousands of light years away, with little to no subspace latency and interference common in lower energy parts of the subspace spectrum. These same powerful subspace taps also act as the octahedron's adaptive subspace field, making these seemingly unarmored and open areas of the vessel some of the most heavily protected. Additionally, huge transwarp coils are paired with these subspace generators. Starfleet engineers theorized that this could allow the octahedron to generate a transwarp entry and exit aperture large enough for itself as well as a small flotilla of cubes. Each drone assigned to operate within the octahedron has specialist equipment installed, including powerful subspace transceivers and additional data processing capabilities. This allows the Queen and her drones to directly interface with the collective as a whole in multiple virtual simulations of tactical situations, running through millions of possibilities of a coming battle at the same time. The sheer amount of power needed to run the multiple high-energy subspace taps, along with the massive transwarp coils, suggests either hundreds of matter-antimatter power cores, or that the Borg have an energy generation system currently beyond the Federation's understanding. Traits: Borg vessel, command ship. Systems: the octahedron has 12 in everything aside from structure, which is 15.
I'm sorry, 10 kilometers? Try 1 at best.
Yeah. And
someone will have to do something about that, because...
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that doesn't make any goddamn sense. Okay, tactical coordination, because lag? That makes sense.
Yeah.
But the size of the ship?
Yeah. That is... Anyway, this is also a rarity in department values because it has a 5 in command. It still has a 3 in everything else.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah. And it has... Its scale is 14! One higher than a Borg cube!
I call stupid on that.
Yeah, I mean, just look at it!
A sphere is 600 meters in diameter. This is just a fraction bit larger.
Yeah. And unless that thing is packed with drones to the point where they can't really move.
Sardine, anyone?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not likely.
Yeah.
We may, and I stress may, have to do something about undoing this stupidity sometime in the future.
Yeah. Anyway, power 12, resistance 16, shields 18. Crew exceptional as always. Cutting beam, energy draining weapon, 17 challenge dice for damage for both. Otherwise, the stats are the same as the sphere and the cube. It also has quantum torpedoes.
I would exchange those for gravimetric torpedoes.
Yeah. Torpedo, long, 7 challenge dice, vicious 1, calibration, high yield. Strength 3, tractor beam. Talents: ablative armor, adaptive subspace field, advanced shields, advanced transporters, auto regeneration units, colossal, quantum torpedoes, regenerative systems, threat protocols, transwarp capable. We'll get into more of those in a bit. There's a sidebar after all the Borg ships here. So yeah, we will eventually need to get back to that. Next up is the Borg probe ship.
Which I might add is not accurate in here.
Yeah. Smaller than most Borg vessels, the probe ship is an elongated icosatetrahedron, 24-sided shape. Approximately 350 meters in length, 120 meters in width, and 100 meters in height. The probe ship acts as a scout vessel, entering systems deemed to be of low or unknown threat levels. Once inside a system, the probe will methodically scan every object in the system the collective currently considers to be noteworthy. And if any pre-warp civilization is encountered, it will begin the assimilation process. With more advanced civilizations, the probe ship will continue to collect data as the collective diverts cubes to the system, attempting to assimilate soft targets to gain knowledge and technology to assist the collective in later attacks. Capabilities. With the primary purpose of a probe ship being information collection, the vessel does not have many weapon systems installed, and what weapons it does have are the standard Borg cutting beam and energy dampening systems that are typical across all collective vessels. The propulsion systems on board are highly advanced, with standard warp propulsion generated by a series of coils located in two internal cylinders inside the port and starboard faces. The vessel also has transwarp capabilities, utilizing a single integrated transwarp coil attached to the primary matter-antimatter reactor core near the core of the vessel. This single coil allows the probe ship to generate a transwarp conduit with a terminus anywhere in the Milky Way and travel at least an order of magnitude faster than standard warp drive. The probe ship also utilizes automated regeneration units, robotic probes capable of complex independent decision making. These units have internal fusion batteries enhanced with dilithium that allow them to operate even after the destruction of their vessel, possibly even rebuilding the probe ship from the scrap left over after a battle. Under normal circumstances, they assist drones with the maintenance and repair of the probe ship, augmenting the damage control capabilities of the small vessel. Now, stats for this thing: Borg vessel, as always. Comms 10, computers 12, engines 12, sensors 12, structure 9, weapons 9. Borg ships typically don't have systems below 10, so I was not expecting these stat values, but it works.
Especially since Voyager blew one up with a single photon torpedo.
Albeit one beamed inside the thing, but still.
In or out, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Anyway, standard departments 3 and everything. Scale 4, resistance 4, power 12, shields 12. Crew, exceptional crew, cutting beam, energy draining weapon, strength 3 tractor beam. Cutting beam and energy draining weapon have 7 challenge dice for damage. Advanced transporters, improved damage control, auto regeneration units, generative systems, threat protocols, transwarp capable. Next up is the big boy, the Type 01B.
The glorious tactical cube.
Yep.
Which unfortunately we do not have here due to issues. Regardless, I think I can guess what is added to that. Armor plating. More
the cube
guns.
Overview. The cube is the standard starship used by the Borg Collective for nearly every situation. But when the Collective encounters an adversary that shows remarkable resistance to assimilation or Borg persistence, the Collective deploys the Tactical Cube. The Tactical Cube is the same as a standard cube, a little more than 3 kilometers along each edge, but has distinctive visual differences that reveal its hardened structure. Capabilities. The Tactical Cube has its structure greatly improved over the standard cube by the addition of thick plates of ablative armor constructed with composite lamination of duranium in a monotanium matrix. These armor plates range in thickness from 20 centimeters to over 5 meters thick over more sensitive areas, and also serve as hard mounts for the Tactical Cube's cutting beams and quantum torpedo launchers. These armor plates extend inside the vessel's structure, splitting the vessel into distinct areas that can be sealed off in case of catastrophic hull breaches. The internal armor plates are also layered with a single centimeter of titanium on the exterior sides and serve as a source of spare hull material for the vessel's auto-regeneration units to use when reconstructing superstructure and exterior hull plating. The interior of the tactical cube is changed beyond just the extra armor plating. There are layers of protection around vital command and control. What? What? Ah. The interior of the tactical cube is changed beyond just the extra armor plating. There are layers of protection around vital command and control areas, such as regenerative shielding around the central plexus, as well as warp and transwarp coils that are located throughout the volume of the vessel. Tactical cubes have significantly more transwarp coils than necessary to produce a sufficiently large corridor for their use, and have been seen to generate large enough openings to allow the transit of itself and 3 escorting cubes. Sightings of these vessels are rare, and when deployed, they are never alone.
Translation: don't be anywhere near one of these things.
Yeah. Traits, Borg vessel, again. Engines are down to 9, but otherwise it's comms 10, computers 12, engines 9, sensors 10, structure 18, weapons 15.
Gee, I wonder why it has lower engine value. Maybe it's because of the shit ton of armor plating.
Yeah. And same department says any other Borg ship. Well, most other Borg ships. Scale 13, just like a regular Borg cube. Power 9, resistance 15, shields 26.
Which really should hammer it home to you people how balls to the wall lucky Voyager was to survive the one tactical cube they ran into.
Yeah. Exceptional crew. Cutting beam, energy draining weapons, 16 challenge dice for each. Quantum torpedoes, strength 5 tractor beam. Blade of armor, adaptive subspace field, advanced shields, advanced transporters, auto regeneration units, colossal, quantum torpedoes, regenerative systems, threat protocols, transwarp capable.
Translation: avoid or die. Or worse.
Yeah. Lastly is the Borg Taurus.
Huh?
Yeah. Rarely seen by Starfleet or other spacefaring civilizations in the Alpha and Beta quadrants. The Borg Taurus is a vessel that has only been seen in and around Borg space-based infrastructure. In fact, this vessel serves the same purpose as both Starfleet work bees and transport starships, helping construct structures and Borg starships and moving large amounts of material through transwarp conduits. Capabilities: small compared to other Borg vessels, at only 250 meters in diameter and 40 meters tall. The Taurus often can be seen much larger with the addition of cargo pods, or even of asteroids being used as raw material for construction projects. Scans of the interior of the vessel have shown that there is little habitable space inside for the approximately 100 drones. The rest of the vessel consists of transwarp coils, subspace stabilizers, and a combined transporter and replicator system. Starfleet probes have detected these vessels inside of Borg transwarp conduits and recorded their construction of transwarp repeaters that help stabilize the Borg conduit network. Structures and equipment are extruded from the open area at the center of the vessel, being replicated from the Taurus's store of raw material, and then moved into place with a network of finely interwoven graviton emitters throughout its hull. Starfleet engineers have theorized that these emission nodes could also be used as a highly sensitive sensor array that could detect the passage of a starship, even if cloaked, from light years away from the gravitational waves its mass would produce in space-time. Captured Borg databases from the wreckage of the cube in orbit of Earth destroyed in early 2367 also show that these vessels can be landed on planets and are used by the collective to rapidly process a planet's atmosphere through its replication systems to make it suitable for Borg habitation. Because of this, it is assumed that any large Borg force invading Federation space with the intent on assimilation will have multiple Taurus vessels accompanying cubes and tactical cubes.
Oh, so it's those things that landed on Vega. The mushroom ones.
Yeah, only shaped like a donut.
Donut.
Anyway, comms 10, computers 10, engines 12, sensors 12, structure 7, weapons 7. I guess that makes sense. This is more like a Borg construction and cargo ship than anything else. Departments: Command 2, Con 3, Security 3, Engineering 4, Science 3, Medicine 3. Again, Borg construction ship. Makes sense. Scale 4, Resistance 4, Power 12, Shields 10. Exceptional crew as always. Cutting beam, energy draining weapon, strength 3, tractor beam, cutting beam and energy draining weapon, 7 challenge dice each. Advanced transporters, regenerative systems, threat protocols, improved reaction control systems, transwarp capable.
And now on to the main subject of this vid.
Yes, the Borg Assimilator. Originally an Armada design, now in STO.
As the new, but not unwelcome battleship. I mean, Borg designs were getting a little stale.
Yeah, this has taken the place of cubes in just about every single Borg encounter, with cubes taking the place of tactical cubes.
Which kind of makes sense in a way.
Yeah, wonder if we'll see a tactical cube again.
I have.
Oh?
Yeah, they still show up and infected the conduit as the final boss. Regardless, I presume an introduction date is pointless?
Yeah, an introduction date is pointless. This is just an NPC stat block.
Well, we might as well mention when this thing first showed up, at least was first sighted. 2376.
Right.
Roughly around a couple weeks after the Dominion War ended. Hint, hint, Armada 1.
Yeah. So, well, I've done all the talking about overviews and capabilities of the previous ships. Now it's your turn.
The Borg Assimilator is designed to do one thing and one thing only. When it doesn't have the time, when the collective does not have the time to go assimilate something, or a lot of drones have been destroyed, an assimilator is dispatched to abduct people. It is theorized that an assimilator was responsible for exactly what happened to the New Providence colony, as well as the outposts along the neutral zone of the Romulans and the Federation. Considering the high speed of these vessels compared to their much larger brethren, this is not illogical. The vessel does serve as something of a support vessel. However, just because it's a support ship does not mean it is lightly armed, as it is armed with Borg particle weapons, and gravimetric torpedoes, just like every other Borg ship. First visual sighting of Assimilator was shortly after the Dominion War, during a brief Borg incursion into the Alpha Quadrant, which was quickly beaten back. After this, the Borg attempted to use a new design based on the Type 03, as seen here. However, the sheer ubiquity of these nightmarish vessels is complemented by another nightmarish fact. Their tractor beams are integrated with transporters, which explains why wreckages of starships are so common. With no bodies aboard, the ships have been tractored. Their crews just taken off. And with recent revelations, thanks to the 2401 incident with Frontier Day, we know exactly what they do. utilizing common biology and rewriting DNA, essentially creating organic interlink nodes within one's brain. Assimilation follows very quickly. With the near total dissolution of the Borg Collective in 2401, it is assumed this threat is over. Note that this historian is reading directly from the book, The Borg. Is the threat over? And as I've clearly indicated, it ain't.
Yeah.
They're back, and the Mirror Universe has even introduced more Borg, which introduce transphasic weaponry and anti-proton beams.
Yes. Seriously, the Mirror Borg. The Mirror Borg are the craziest threat that the Mirror Borg are a crazier threat than even Prime Borg.
Considering the hyper-aggressiveness of the Mirror Universe in pretty much everything, that is understandable.
Yeah.
But understandable does not mean welcome.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see about some stats for this thing. I'm thinking, I'm not sure what, but I am thinking no system below 10.
Obviously.
Yeah. Let's put, and you said this thing was fast. Let's put the engines up at 16.
Yeah. It is basically a Borg resupply vessel.
Yeah.
And by resupply, I mean abduction, assimilation, mutilation. You know, all the things the Borg are known for.
Yeah. Comms, we'll leave comms at 10, computers at 12. Sensors, I think 11. Structure, we'll put structure at 14.
It is a tough little boat.
Yeah. Weapons.
Gravimetric torpedoes and unspecified particle beams.
Yeah, but like weapons 10 or higher.
10. This is more of a abduction vessel. It's armed enough to disable enemy ships, but it's not gonna go, I'm gonna engage an Odyssey-class dreadnought. Oops.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Oddies are designed to fight cubes and win.
Yeah. So, now, for systems, we could just do 3 and everything, but given its nature as an assimilating vessel, I think we should at least bump medicine up a bit.
Indeed.
We'll put medicine...
That is the boat's role.
Yeah, we'll put medicine at 5. Alright, now we need to figure out scale.
Well, considering the size of the vessel and comparing it to its siblings, I mean, the blackness of space does not do anything to help. However, the closest vessel I can think of in terms to outright size... Where is that damn thing? Here it is. The Borg Sphere.
Right. And the Star Trek Adventures book gives the sphere a scale of 7.
Well, Borg ships aren't exactly tiny.
Yeah, we'll do that here too.
And, well, assimilators are designed to have a lot of people in them. I use the term people loosely for good reason.
Yeah. Yeah. So scale 7, resistance 7, power. Power is the same as engines, so power 16. And shields are structure plus security, so that's 17.
And now for the nightmare fuel of special rules.
Yeah,
remember
and
when I mentioned the tractor beam that beams people aboard?
Yeah, I have advanced transporters, but let's... I have the standard rules of Borg rules of advanced transporters, regenerative systems, and threat protocols, as well as transwarp capable. Let's see, tractor. Let's see. We should also do. We should do. We should probably let's do integrated transporters. Well, actually, we'll call it tractor integrated transporters. Tractor.
Though for convenience and sake, we'll just call it the assimilation beam, because that's exactly what it does.
All right, we'll do assimilation beam. The assimilator's tractor beam is integrated directly into the transporter system. When an enemy ship is tractored, the difficulty to beam off to beam to and from the target ship becomes 0. That makes sense.
And that's exactly how it works in Armada.
Yeah.
Because even if the shields are up, use the assimilation beam, off comes the crew.
Yep. And for weapons, we have cutting beam, energy draining weapon, gravimetric torpedoes, strength 5 tractor beam. I'll work on stats for those later. I will work on filling out the narrative stats. The mechanical stats later.
Gravimetric torpedoes are just that. Gravity distortion weapons.
Yeah, but I mean like range, damage rating, weapon qualities, etc.
It's the Borg. They're always going to be nasty.
Yeah. And there's one more thing to cover.
Hmm?
That is assimilated starships. Because yes, there are rules for this thing. For this phenomenon. When the collective assimilates a starship, nanites begin restructuring the technology and crew alike, converting everything on board into Borg standard. But, as every starship isn't created equally, not every assimilated starship is equal to another. If a game master wishes to introduce an assimilated starship, one that the Borg have recently taken control of, use the following rules to change the starship. All systems lower than 10 are increased to 10. All departments are replaced with a value of 3, even if that space frame had a department value higher previous to assimilation. This is to represent the transformation of the crew and changes the ship's systems made by the nanites. The starship replaces all traits with Borg vessel and assimilated starship. A starship's weapons stay the same, though damage may require recalculation due to changes in the security department. Talents a starship possesses may be retained, but ones that do not assist the collective will be discarded and replaced with nothing. This is left to the judgment of the game master. Examples include diplomatic suites or the emergency medical hologram. Examples of assimilated starships can include the Borg vessel as seen in the Next Generation episode Descent and the Enterprise episode Regeneration. The episodes of Star Trek Voyager, Scorpion Part 2, and The Gift show USS Voyager as though it were in the very early stages of assimilation, with Borg technology installed on the exterior hull.
I must argue, however, that the Type 03, this thing, is considered a Borg vessel. Not a captured one, but one built by the Borg.
Yeah. So that is pretty much the Borg as shown in Star Trek Adventures. We will probably need to go back to this at some point to redo stuff. The like the octahedron. We'll need to do a video just redoing the octahedron. But I think this video's gone long enough already, don't you?
No kidding. Regardless, this is not only to celebrate the inclusion of another new old boat into STO, even if it's not one any of us were expecting, or to a point even wanting.
Yeah.
Because we were all expecting a playable boat.
Not a new NPC vessel that we will never be able to play.
But at least it adds a little bit more variety to the Borg Armada. Hopefully we'll see some more Borg vessels sometime in the future. Like, say, the very simple pyramid.
Bless you. But yeah, this is...
Scout Cube. Even dilithium freighters.
Yeah. This is not the... This is to celebrate this at the introduction of the Assimilator, but it is not just that. It is also to showcase just how dangerous... To showcase the stats that were developed for this species for Star Trek Adventures and show how they are an incredible threat.
Translation: keep the hell away unless you have a very angry boat.
Yup. And honestly, the introduction of Mirror Borg. Oh, this is... and if you've played the newest episode or seen Ron's videos of it, you know what has been introduced, and this is going to be one nasty story arc.
No kidding. I'm just looking forward to the next Interplay era boat. Hopefully it's the Pumwell or something like that.
Yeah, hopefully.
Bye-bye.